All right, hello everyone. This is Kevin Best at the ACC, trying to go through and make sure everybody has permission to record. If for some reason you don't, just hit me up in the chat and I will try to get to everybody. I've gotten to a lot of folks.
Kevin, did you get my request?
Sorry, who was that?
Trevor.
Trevor, sorry. Yeah, I see you now. Hold
Thanks,
on.
Kevin.
No problem. People coming in and gets it out of order. All right, everyone. Like I said before, if you are on and you have not received permission to record, just let me know. I will make sure to give that to you. There you go, Coach. So welcome to the 2022 Subway ACC Football Championship Game, Sunday night teleconference, Zoom. We're welcomed by Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney. The Tigers are 10-2 overall, 8-0 in the Atlantic, and are champions of our Atlantic division. So, Coach, we'll turn it over to you for an opening statement, and then we'll take questions.
Okay, appreciate it. Well, we're excited about being back in the ACC championship game in the great city of Charlotte. Super excited about that, and to represent the Atlantic. Certainly, a big goal of ours that we weren't able to achieve last year. Winning the division this year, and in particular, the last year of the divisions, I think that was kind of another goal within our goals this year. But so we're excited about the opportunity to still be playing and look forward to the trip up there. We got a great amount of respect for Coach Brown and the job he's done at North Carolina, and the year that they've had. Got a lot of dynamic playmakers that we've been able to see throughout the year. None more so than their quarterback. Has had a Heisman type year. So it should be a great venue and a great night there in Charlotte. And again, looking forward to competing against a great team.
All right, thanks, Coach. As always with the Zoom call, if you have a question, please raise your hand. We have a lot of folks on today, so I'll try to get to as many as possible. First up is Trevor Groves. Trevor, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. It was an epic meaning the last time you played the Tar Heels in 2019 in Chapel Hill. Just what do you remember about that game, and what can you say about the job that Mack Brown has done with this program?
He's done an amazing job. I mean, just I think coming in and really, just building a culture and solidifying their organization and impacting the recruiting, which ultimately impacts the product on the field. And so he's done a wonderful job of that. They've got a lot of great players. He's got an excellent staff. And so that particular game was a crazy day. I think it was an early game, if I remember, but came down to, the last play. And, it was a great play by our guys. I think it was, if I remember correctly, maybe Skowski was in on that play. But it was a good one. Isaiah Simmons, maybe. There was another one in on that one, but tough, hard-fought game, as was the last time we played them in the ACC championship game. That was a play that came down to an onside kick. So got a lot of respect for these guys and the type of program that they have and the players that they have within it.
Okay, our next question will go to Andrea Adelson. Andrea, go ahead.
Dabo, when you reviewed the tape from yesterday's game in terms of some of the struggles in the passing game, how much of that was on DJ? How much of that was on the receivers, the line? I know there's a lot of moving parts, but, do you have a clearer idea today kind of what went into some of those struggles?
Oh, yeah. I got a much clearer idea, but it's, it was a combination of a lot of things. We had, really one time early, we had Brenning Stool wide open, and we get hit, and did not do a good job protecting on that particular play. I mean, wide open, and then we had another time we missed a throw to Antonio who was open, and then we hit him and we dropped it, and then we had a couple more and we dropped it, and so we had some critical drops and some misplays, and those things add up. And next thing you know, the turnovers with empty possessions, you turn over a kick return, you turn over a punt return. Now you're out of rhythm, and then you have some drops and a few misplays along the way, and it's a recipe for getting beat. So, but our kids competed. I love that how they competed. Again, you just got to congratulate South Carolina. They found a way to win the game. We certainly had plenty of opportunity to win it, and we didn't get it done. And the turnovers really hurt us and caught up with us, and some big plays on defense. So it was a combination of a lot of things. Certainly BJ had some plays that he'd like to have back, but he wasn't. He was not. He was a long way away from being the reason we lost the game. That's for sure. So he doesn't return kicks and play safety and catch the ball. He can only control his part, but all of those things I think affect, just your psyche and the rhythm of the game and so forth. But, again, I still love how they competed. A lot of tough things within the game, but, competed all the way to the end. And unfortunate that we didn't get a chance there at the kick with the last fumble on the punt return. That was kind of the final deal there. But just got to congratulate South Carolina and Shane and for those guys finding a way to win the game, because they just won it.
Okay, our next question is from Matt Connolly. Go ahead, Matt.
Dabo, in addition to the passing game, just what else kind of stood out, both good and bad, about yesterday's game, and what went right, what went wrong when you went back and watched it?
Yeah, well, I mean, just again, misplays, turnovers, and then some critical big plays on defense where we just didn't do what we needed to do. And so, and they made us pay for it. But, had a couple of miscues up front as well, but just a combination of all those things. And in a game like that, I mean, it's a rivalry game. It's a few plays, but more than anything, missed opportunities with the drops, a couple of misplays, and the turnovers. I mean, again, you get the safety and you get a nice little kick return to the 30-something there, and you got one of your best players and, the ball's loose and just kind of, away from his body and comes out. And then, you got, even with all the stuff that had gone on, you still got a chance there at the end. You're going to have a, first down on right there at midfield, about the 48. And, you get one more fumble. So special teams, the two returns that we got no opportunity with, those are empty possessions. The field position, their punter was tremendous. We had a lot of, tough field position, but we did a lot of good things in the game too. I know we like to focus on all the bad when we lose, but there were a lot of good things in the game that we'll see when we watch the tape as well. But, just didn't do what we need to do to win the game. And you have to win those type of games. We had plenty of opportunity, two plays, 3 plays, you win it. But you got to give their guys credit. I mean, because they were behind the whole game. They trailed the entire game and they just kept battling. And then, the field goal put them up there in the fourth quarter and we weren't able to respond. And again, some huge missed opportunities, 3 big drops, that I felt like could have made a difference for us, but, just wasn't our day.
Okay, our next question is from Larry Williams. Larry, go ahead with your question.
Sorry, can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay, sir. I apologize. I had my mute on accidentally. Can you share how you're moving forward with the quarterback situation this week? Is DJ still the guy? What have y'all concluded, I guess, as of this afternoon?
So are you asking me if he's the reason we lost?
No, I'm not. I'm just curious if he's still the starter.
Yeah, he's still the starter. Yeah, still the starter. He's not the reason we lost the game. And he can't catch it, and again, he doesn't play safety and he doesn't return kicks. So he's got his share of things that he can do better, but he will definitely start the game.
Okay, our next question is from Leo Haggerty. Go ahead, Leo.
Coach, you're dealing not only with a loss, but a lot of other things. First time in 8 games with South Carolina, first home loss in 40. You don't want this to fester into a second one. What are you going to have to do this week to make sure you get over this game?
Well, just like we've always done, you go back to work and you move on to the next opponent. That's what we've always done. All those things are great. We've done all those things, but the last time we lost, we went back to work, and that's what you do. This is a championship game. This is going to be, another great venue and great environment, and 2 teams that really want to win. But you keep good perspective. You learn. You teach. You make sure your guys understand what's reality and what's not, especially at a place like Clemson when you lose a game. And then, you lose. I mean, I wish we'd have won 8 in a row. We didn't. We had our opportunity to, but, somewhere along the line, you got to give the opponent some credit too. And, their kids earned it. And we had plenty of opportunities and didn't do what we needed to do. So, and as I said yesterday, there's probably a reason why no one's won 8 in a row in this series. It's hard to do in a rivalry game. And we've had a lot of great days, and yesterday wasn't one of them. So, you learn from it and you move on to the next one. Just like what's led to all of our consistency. When we've won a game, we do the same thing. We don't linger around in that either. We learn from it and we move on to the next one. So really no different than anything that we always do.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Okay, our next question is from David Teal. David, go ahead with your question.
Dabo, in your opening statement, you said that Drake May was having a Heisman-type season. You have competed against and coached some of the best young quarterbacks this league has ever seen. Does Drake May have some common traits with a Trevor Lawrence or a Jameis Winston?
Absolutely. He's a great one. I mean, I know they've had a couple tough games, but again, he can only do his job, right? And not that he's perfect or anything like that, but he is teams win, but he's got all the attributes. We recruited him, we offered him, we loved him coming out of high school. So and nothing's changed. I mean, he's a great player. He's a winner. He's got a great competitive streak to him. That's what I like about him most. He's incredibly competitive. And he just has a lot of confidence that he can make the play required. But he's got a nice arm. He sees it. He's got a high football IQ. He's an excellent leader. You see all those things. So he can move around. I mean, he can run with it. I mean, he can do a little bit of everything. So he's a complete player at that position.
I see over your right shoulder a diagram of SoFi Stadium, which is where the CFP final is.
Yeah.
Do you have to adjust some team goals now in the wake of yesterday?
Not really. I mean, we didn't achieve the goal that we had yesterday. So, we've got 2 goals left, and that is to win the ACC and to win the closer. So we don't have to adjust anything. We've got a chance to hit 4 out of our 5 goals. And, if we do that, we're going to have had a great year for sure. But, that's been there since the summer. I think one of the operations guys brought that back. So I guess I won't need the directions to it, but yeah, appreciate you pointing that out. Yeah, it's been there. I didn't even notice it's been there always since the summer, been there a long time. But that, and again, that's not a goal. It's not, there's nothing in here that says win the national championship. Our goals are win the opener, win the division, win the state, win the ACC, and win the closer. And when we've done that, we've won the national championship. Our goals are set up to allow us to compete at the highest level. But the reason that it doesn't say win the national championship on there is because we don't control that, right? I mean, we could win all of our games and somebody could say, no, you don't qualify, right? So, we set our goals up that allow us to compete at the highest level. And that's worked out for us a lot this year. We're not going to hit all 5, but we do have an opportunity still to hit 4 out of 5. And if we do that, we're going to have another great year here and keep moving forward. So this is a huge goal for us, always has been. And when we've won the league, it's always led to bigger things. And and not winning the state championship a couple of times along the way in our past has kept us out of some bigger opportunities. We've not won our state championship, won the league, been in the Orange Bowl, et cetera. But when we've hit all 5, we've won it all a couple of times. So that's why they are what they are. But we don't have to adjust anything. We've got 2 goals left, and win the ACC and win the closer. And we hit those 2 goals, we will have had a heck of a year here at Clemson.
All right. Our next question is from Chapel Fowler. Chapel, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Dabo, you mentioned last night wishing you had gotten Shipley the ball a little bit more in the second half. After looking at the film, do you have a better idea of why that didn't happen?
Well, I mean, there's some read things where it didn't happen, and just the play call didn't go to him. And then again, we had a missed possession there at the end that hurt us. Some missed plays that killed some more sequence of plays and opportunities there. But, definitely something, 2020, hindsight's 2020 for sure. And, wish we could have gone back and redone a couple of those.
Okay. Our next question is from Anna Adams. Anna, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Dabo. Coach Streeter said after the game that Clemson wide receivers didn't particularly win against man coverage. Looking at the film, any reason why there was so much struggle there?
Well, they did a good job on a couple of occasions. There were several times where they won, and we didn't, we dropped it, or we missed the throw, or the protection let us down. But they did a good job of really playing some outside technique leverage, and then we came back and made them pay for that and hit Bo for a big play. But we missed a couple of other opportunities, and then Bo getting hurt was certainly a loss for us. But definitely not our best day.
Okay, our next question is from back to Andrea Adelson. Andrea, go ahead.
Dabo, I think you have a negative turnover margin in your last 5 games. I'm just wondering if there's a common denominator there and how much of a concern that is headed into Saturday.
That's a huge concern, because if we lose the margin this week, we'll lose the game. I mean, it's I knew going into this game, and when we've lost to these guys, that's been the common denominator. Is the 5-game streak that we had at that point was we had 15 turnovers to their 3, and this run that we had of 7 in a row, we really did a great job of being even or better. All but one time we were -1 and we still won in 15, but it was a really close, like a 5-point game. So it's a big concern going into this game, and it's frustrating. And it's a lot of fundamental stuff, just guys getting the ball out and away from their body, and sometimes trying to do too much. And it's been an issue these past 5 games, but we've also shown that we can do an outstanding job. The first 7 games, we had 3 turnovers. So we have shown that we can, do a good job with that, but it's been a real problem. We're very fortunate to be 3-2 in those 5 games where we've lost the margin. That's amazing that we've been able to overcome that, and had an opportunity to overcome it yesterday. And again, just couldn't quite get it done, even with the lead for most of the game.
All right, as a reminder, make sure to raise your hand if you have a question. We're going to go back to Trevor Groves. Trevor, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I'm speaking of turnovers, I'm curious about the gadget kickoff return. It worked out nicely except for the fumble by Maffa. Where did that play come from exactly?
Yeah, it's just something we've had, and it's a good time to do it because you're going to have a chance at a return, and it did pop clean, almost popped big time, but he kind of got tripped up there, and same thing. It's not like he had some big hit, just the ball. He just kind of had the ball out from his body, and just it came loose there. So just one of the best players we have, and I'd hand it to him over and over and over. So we just gotta really coach our way and play our way through it. It's a real disappointment right now, and it's definitely a huge factor in that game yesterday. A couple of times, again, two, one on kick return, one on punt return. You got all the momentum, on the kick return there after the safety. You're up 9 with a chance to get good field position and go get points, and it's an empty possession. And then obviously at the end there, you feel good about your return, and you got a great kicker, and to not get the opportunity is very frustrating. But again, that's football. When you compete in this arena, in this world that we're in, we've been more blessed than not. I mean, it's bounced our way a lot, but you'll have those days somewhere along the way where it doesn't, and that was a tough thing for us yesterday.
Did you put that play in yourself, and have you seen somebody else run that play before?
Yeah, we've had that play in. We put it in. We've had it, most of the year, but it was just like I said, just the right time to call it. But yeah, it's something that's been in our background for a long time.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we'll go back to Larry Williams. Larry, go ahead.
Yeah, you mentioned the safety position. Just curious for the day after evaluation on film of that position in general and Makuba in specific.
Yeah, he had a rough day and a tough day. And but you know what? Listen, man, I love that kid, and I told him that after the game. This kid, he's battled all year. He didn't practice Monday and Tuesday. He's out there. He had a little bit of a sore knee, battled through that. He's obviously played with the elbow all year. He's an incredible competitor. He cares deeply, and certainly was a game he's going to want to forget. And some, plenty of just fundamental things and eye discipline things and technique things that he can learn from. But he's going to have a lot more good days than he does bad days in the game of football, because he is a great player, a great competitor, and he, it's when you play that position, there's nowhere to hide at times, and so it is what it is there. we'd love to have a few plays back, but you don't get those plays back. But what you can do is you can learn from them, and that's exactly what he'll do. And, you know, the 4th and 1, I mean, and again, we turned them back over, but, you know, you stop, I mean, it's a 1-person route. And I mean, you know, we stop them right there. You're going to get points there. So just, you know, one of those plays in the game that was a very difficult play. And then they got us on a little double move later as well with, again, a 9-point lead. So tough day. JP got banged up, and JP, man, he came out and he had to go back in. You know, and that's the one thing I will say about our guys, man. I saw a bunch of brothers out there competing for each other, and really, I mean, to the end, they battled. They never, you know, quit. They kept believing, and you know, that's all you can ask these guys. Nobody wants to win more than them, and you know, we just gotta keep teaching and growing them up and learning and put this one behind us and get ready to go compete, you know, for this league title.
All right, we got time for about just 2 or 3 more. Matt Connolly, you're up next.
Yeah, but I was just going to ask, how do you feel like Cade has been doing in practice and kind of been developing throughout this year?
He's doing good, doing really good.
All right, our next question is from Leo Haggerty. Go ahead, Leo.
Coach, you had a lot of key injuries. You had an ejection. Did that affect the game plan on offense and defense with people in the game that really you didn't expect to have had in the game?
Well, I mean, it affects things, but, you know, both sides have players out and things like that. And, you know, we've got to, you know, we had plenty of opportunity, and, you know, we're in position to win the game all the way to the end and just didn't do it. So, you know, everybody's got guys banged up. They lost a receiver, a really good player, and I hope he's okay. It didn't look good on the field. Number 6 for them, Van, when he came down. So, and everybody's dealing with stuff, you know, before the game, during the game, and, you know, our job's to find a way to win, and we didn't do it. So, again, you got to congratulate them because they did, and it was a big win, and you know, we'll learn from it and got to live with it. Got to live with it for 300 something days. And again, it's been a long time since we've had this feeling, thankfully, and get ready for when that time comes again down the road.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, our next question is from Brian Murphy. Go ahead, Brian.
Hey, Coach. Dave Doran up at NC State said December's turned into one of his least favorite months of the year, given roster management, the early signing day, transfer portal, everything that's happening, you know, plus having to get ready for games. How do you kind of balance all the things that need to be taken care of this month?
Yeah, it's a lot because you got recruiting, and you know, so we obviously are in the championship game this week. So although they did make this a dead week, used to for up until this year, this was recruiting started this week. So, you know, we were in this game. I guess this is 7 out of the last 8 years that we've been in this game. So the previous 6 times we kind of missed the week because we were getting ready for the championship game. But as soon as the game is over, I mean, literally Sunday, everybody's gone. Everybody's out on the road. So there's a lot to do from a recruiting standpoint because, you know, we've got the signing day coming up, and then it's always been a lot. Bowl, you know, getting ready for your bowl prep, you know, getting your plan in place for that. Once you kind of know where you're going and who's your opponent, and you know, there's always a lot of travel time and playing time and things like that you're just constantly working, trying to get ready. And so we'll have about I think we got exactly 2 weeks to go recruit. So we'll be busy with that, and a week of that will be all recruiting, and then another week of that will be recruiting / practice, you know, where we'll, depending on, you know, everybody's schedule and stuff, you know, you'll be, you know, maybe practice in the morning, recruiting at night, you know, vice versa. You do that for a week, and then you've got that signing day on that Wednesday, the 21st. So, you know, fortunately for us, our class is, you know, almost done here. And, you know, we've got a lot of guys committed and a lot of guys that'll be coming in early in January. So we pretty much have a pretty clear picture on what our class is going to look like, and we're super excited about the group that's coming in. But then you have the added piece of the transfer portal and all that stuff that has come about that creates a different deal, than we've had to deal with in the past, because now your roster can look very different by the time you get to your bowl game. So it just is what it is. Everybody has to deal with it, and you just try to manage that and the very best you can.
All right, seeing no other questions, and at 4:28, we'll let Coach go. Coach, really appreciate you joining us, and we will see you in Charlotte on Friday at 2:45. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And for everybody else on the line, we will be joined by North Carolina head coach Mack Brown shortly, and we will get going with him. Trying to get to as many of these requests for record, but if I miss you, just hit me up again.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Well, we're ready if you are.
All right, sir.
All right. To everyone on the line, welcome again to the 2022 Subway ACC Football Championship Game Zoom Sunday teleconference press conference. We're joined by North Carolina head coach Mack Brown. Tar Heels are 9-3 overall, 6-2 in the ACC, and are champions of the Coastal Division. Coach, we could start with an opening statement, and then we'll take questions.
Thank you, Kevin. We're really excited to be playing in the ACC championship game. It's only the second time for us since divisions were established in 2012. 2015, we actually played Clemson, and Gene Chizik was our defensive coordinator, and Charlton Warren was our secondary coach at that time. But very, very proud of these guys. So they've done something that's only been done 2 times since we've had division. So proud of them. Also, winning 9 games here is important, because we haven't done that except one other time since 1997. So these guys have accomplished a lot, winning 6 games on the road, having a chance to play a great team like Clemson is something that is very, very important for us. When I got back, I wanted North Carolina football to be relevant again. And we've been to 4 straight bowls, one of those bowls being the Elite Orange Bowl. And then here we are playing Clemson in
Coach, I'm not sure what happened. I think something might have happened to the mute button.
Got it now.
There we go. We're back.
There we
go.
go.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't touch it, Kevin, so I'm not sure.
Technology.
It's kind of the way my weekend's gone. So
probably on my end, but okay. Sorry.
Part of it, but proud. I don't know where we stopped, Kevin.
You were talking about making North Carolina football relevant again, 4 straight bowl games.
Yes, 4 straight bowl games, one of those being the Orange Bowl, which we'd never been to, and then getting to the championship game to have a chance to play a national program like Clemson. Clemson's been the standard in the ACC for many years. When I was here before, it was Florida State. Florida State was in the national picture every year. I think Coach Bowden had 14 straight years of being in the top 4. So all the rest of us were second and below, and that's pretty much what Clemson's been. Last year it changed a little bit, but Dabo's done an amazing job of getting his team back this year and being the national picture. I looked at some things this morning because I went through a similar number of years at Texas that Dabo's gone through at Clemson now, and he's 160-30, 37 as the head coach at Clemson. Second wingest program since 2015 with 99 wins. He's won 2 national championships. They've appeared in the college football playoff 6 times, 7 seasons with at least 11 wins with a chance at an 8th, and 4 14 win seasons. Just absolutely unbelievable the success he's had. And like I said, all of us are trying to catch him. He's done an amazing job. He's a dear friend of mine. I like the way he does it. He does it with class, and can't wait to compete against him this weekend. It'll be a real fun challenge for our team.
All right, thank you, Coach. We will now go to questions. If you have a question, please use the raise your hand function, and I'll call on as many folks as we can get to. Our first question is from Trevor Groves. Go ahead, Trevor.
Hey, Coach. The last time you played Clemson, it was an epic game. 2019, Clemson was #1, riding the nation's longest win streak. You went for the 2-point conversion. What do you remember about that game? And was that one of the tougher losses to swallow in your career?
Yes, Trevor, I remember I was proud of our guys. They hung in there and they had a chance to win till the end. A lot of people wondered why I went for 2. We were down 5 starters on defense, and Clemson was a whole lot better than we were. And they had one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. And there was still 1 minute and 19 seconds left. So that game wasn't near over. And I just wanted to put more pressure on them if we could get one up and make them try to get down for a field goal. But Clemson's won a lot of games, and they won a lot of those in the end, and we had our chance and just couldn't close it.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck Saturday.
Thank you, Trevor.
Okay, our next question is from CL Brown. Go ahead, CL.
Hey, Mack, I was just wondering how you go about hitting the reset button for the team after the losses coming into this game.
Yeah, CL, I'm going to see you tomorrow at 11, so we're going to have to rehash all these questions. So you North Carolina guys, if we want to ask all of them today, what we'll do is just not have our press conference tomorrow. That'll be good. We can move forward. You're in a championship game. None of these kids have ever been in this championship game. So they'll be really excited about it. We haven't played Clemson since 4 years ago. I think next year we play them at Death Valley. So and playing Clemson's an exciting thing. It's a great challenge, and they know that they're playing as good a group of athletes as anybody has in the country. So it'll be a fun challenge for us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, CL.
All right, our next question is from Scott Kiefer. Scott, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Mack, I'm just wondering how you feel about the divisions going away in the ACC. You for it, against it, neutral? How do you feel?
Scott, I was against it. Even if we redesigned them, I thought it was so cool that you can win a division championship. We did the same thing. We had a North and South in the Big 12 when I was there, and then we did away with it when some teams left. And I understood because we only had 10 teams in the Big 12, and everybody had to play against each other. And I didn't like it as much because right now in the Big 12, Saturday, TCU is going to play Kansas State for a second time. And I always thought it's a little awkward playing somebody twice. Normally, when you have divisions, that doesn't happen. So I was one of the few, I think, in the league that voted against it. I didn't mind changing up divisions if you want to change some teams so people get to play different people. But I really like divisions as far as college football is concerned.
Very good. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question is from Deanna King. Go ahead with your question.
Hey, Coach, there's a lot of North Carolina kids on that Clemson roster. How important is it to play Clemson for recruiting purposes?
I think it's good, Dina. They've beaten us a bunch in recruiting. Most of the guys on our team weren't offered by them. So there's a lot of great players on their team that I've tried to recruit that decided to go down there. And they've got a great program. They are the standard in this league. They've got outstanding facilities. Dabo's done an amazing job. So I get it, but no, we'll be playing against a lot of great players I wish we had gotten.
Okay, our next question is from Sammy Batten. Go ahead, Sammy.
Yeah, Mack, just following up on kind of Dina's question. I mean, Charlotte, both teams have really great players from Charlotte. I mean, is this kind of going to be kind of a sidebar to be a kind of a showcase for high school talent coming out of Charlotte too?
It really is. And playing in Charlotte special for us. And I know it is Dabo because Clemson's not very far from there either. And then next year, our opening game will be with South Carolina in Charlotte, which was the first game that I had 4 years ago when I was here. So playing in Charlotte special. I've been told it's a sellout. I know those Clemson fans are going to show up, and our fans have been unbelievable the last 2 home games. Thanksgiving's always iffy to know how many people can come, and some of the weather were question marks. And we had a packed house, and the student section was full, and our crowds have been absolutely unbelievable. So I expect them to be the same way on Saturday night.
Our next question is from Evan Abramson. Go ahead, Evan.
Hey, Coach, how's it going? Thanks for taking the time to speak with us today. My question for you is, Clemson obviously has a lot of experience playing in these type of caliber games. You want UNC to get to the point where they're playing in these caliber games as much in the future. Also, with South Carolina beating Clemson, I mean, do you kind of feel like it shows a message that anyone can beat anyone, that there's no reason to be scared?
Evan, we're never scared. You love to play and you love a challenge. And for us, we're trying to take steps in our program. I mean, 4 years ago, we won 5 games in 2 years. And the team we took over had won 2 games and hadn't been to a bowl game in a number of years. So every step that we take is a step closer to North Carolina football being relevant again. And you're one of your goals at the first of the year is to win the Coastal. Another one of your goals is to win the ACC championship. And so that's what makes this so special for these young guys today. I thank them for getting us to this point. There's only 10 teams that'll play in Power 5 championships this weekend. And they're one of 10 out of 131. So that's pretty cool.
All right, we'll go back to Andrea Adelson. Andrea, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Mac, thanks for doing this. Just curious in the last 2 games, if there's something that defenses have done maybe a little bit differently that have gotten you guys out of rhythm and maybe a little bit more inconsistent on offense.
Andrea, we haven't played as consistently well. We've still, we didn't score many points against Georgia Tech, and that wasn't like us. I think we've gotten impatient. And we're just wanting to. We scored so fast and we scored so much early in the season that the last couple of games people are making us work harder to score points, and we're not doing that as well. So we just got to go back and relook at who we are and start over.
And our next question is from John Blau. John, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Coach, you were mentioning how a lot of the players at Clemson are guys that you wanted, you weren't able to get. I mean, Drake May is a guy that Clemson recruited and you were able to get. I mean, what were you able to pitch him on? What do you think he saw in UNC that made him come to you guys?
John, his whole family's been UNC. When he was growing up, I said it'd be like Archie Manning not going to Ole Miss. I mean, his dad was one of the leading passers in ACC history. His brother won a national championship in basketball. His other brother is here on our basketball team now. Living in Charlotte, he's going to have a wonderful career here. He'll have a great career in the NFL, and then he'll want to come back and live in Charlotte, in my estimation. And you want to go back home. So he's a special player. He's a special young man, and we're sure lucky to have him.
All right, and we'll go back to Trevor Groves. Trevor, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, keeping in that theme, one of the guys you did not get was Will Shipley from the Charlotte area. You recruited him. How much have you kind of followed his career from a distance, and what makes him a special player? What do you have to do to try to bottle him up?
Trevor, like everybody else, we all wanted him. In fact, most of the players at Clemson, we all wanted. So it wasn't just me. And Will's tough. He's fast. I love the way he competes. He's such a great young man. He's got an outstanding family. I got really close to his grandmother. I thought that might be our chance. But I love watching him play. Just the extra yardage he gets, and he stirs people up when he gets in that game. And you love to see a guy that's that talented, but also that competitive, and knowing that he's a wonderful young person.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, our next question is from David Teal. Go ahead, David.
Mac, you and I are old enough to remember Lawrence Taylor. Does LT in 1980 resonate with today's Tar Heels?
Well, LT resonates with everything we do. I wish we'd get the pass rush that he had. David, we're not getting any pass rush, and he got them all. And I know the goal line stand at Clemson. You go back and think about those days, but he was a special player. He actually had him back to a game last year, and he was here and met a lot of our kids, and being one of the greatest players to ever play. He's a guy that a lot of people relate to around here.
But does that 42-year drought, does that get mentioned in your locker room and the opportunity that you have Saturday night to end it?
David, it does, but it's something that we went from the bottom now. You win 3 games in 2 years, and I think 2 of those were Power 5 teams. We've had to start from the bottom and work our way up, and it's really interesting to watch our team. They just love to win, and everything's new for them. So these guys hadn't been to a bowl game. Then we went to a bowl game. Then we go to the Orange Bowl. Then last year was a disappointment. And now this year they found a way to win a lot of close games. And very honestly, David, we're about like everybody in the Coastal. All of our games except Pittsburgh came down to the last drive. And so that's kind of who we are. And they know that. And they know that Clemson's better than the teams that we've played. So they're going to have to play the best game that they've played to have a chance.
Okay, our next question is from Anna Adams. Anna, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, apologies if you already answered this after the game, but any injury update that you could provide? I think you had a couple of guys go out on Friday.
Yeah, Anna, we just came back in today, but because it was a Friday game and we gave them off Saturday. So Jeremy Sharp will have, we got a lot of guys hurt during the game and ended up playing a really young secondary, the second half and fourth quarter. But Jeremy Sharp will have an update before our press conference tomorrow. But we really haven't. The trainers are looking at them and evaluating them today, and they'll give us a report tonight before we go to bed.
Okay, our next question is from David Hale. David, go ahead.
Hey, Mac, appreciate you doing this as always. You mentioned earlier that one of the reasons you came back to UNC was with the hopes of delivering a sense of national relevancy to the Tar Heels program again. This obviously being a big step towards that. How much does that equate into your plans for the future? Would winning an ACC title, would you say, hey, all right, I did it, let's go out on top? Or are you just kind of saying, I'm having fun doing this, I'm going to keep doing it, and sort of where meeting those goals is, where it doesn't matter to you in terms of that decision?
David, they really, obviously they matter but it doesn't in regards to that decision at all. I like winning, losing stinks. I think everybody that lost yesterday, and there were a bunch of them that lost a whole lot of important things yesterday and Friday, would all tell you that it stinks. I just told our team, winning's fun. Thank you for the 9. The others stink. Just part of it. And let's just keep working to get better. But no, I want these kids to be happy. I want them to be learning and growing and having a better life after they get out of here. And that's really the reason that Sally and I came back. But we also want North Carolina football to be relevant again. Larry Fedora did a tremendous job here. He was, the last time we were in this game, he was the reason, and came down to an onside kick and had a chance to win it. But they struggled in the end, and I love this place. I love these fans and the administration, and got so many top boosters that are dear friends of mine for 30 years. So it's unlike most people that are coaching. I'm coaching to help the place and help these kids. And that's why I'm so proud of them for this university and for these kids. A bunch of these kids were on that 2-10 football team because of the COVID year. We've still got a lot of kids that are fighting through that. So this is a really great opportunity for them to feel good about themselves.
All right, we got a few more minutes. Reminder to use your raise your hand function. I know Sammy Batten, you had a follow up. You can go ahead. Perhaps we lost you, Sammy. All right, let's go to Lawton Swan with Clemson Sports Talk. Go ahead, Lawton.
Hey, Coach, I'm sure you're just getting prepared for the Tigers, obviously, but have you seen any crossover film on this team, and what you have seen of them, you know, what might give you some concerns going into the matchup on Saturday night?
Lawton, they run the ball so well. You know, the quarterback's so big and strong, and he's lost weight from last year and looks much more athletic. And you get he and Will Shipley back there. They're always good in the offensive line. They've always got the big, tall receivers that can make plays. So that's who they are. They've been running this offense forever, and they're really, really good at it. And you look at defensively, they're as good as anybody in the country. I mean, their defensive front, those guys every year, they just rotate them. They all look great. They look like what the rest of us want to be like and get like in their defensive front seven. They've always got skilled people in the back end, but again, you look at their defensive line, and it's hard to. We've struggled the last 2 weeks offensively. It's hard to figure out how you'd make some yards.
All right, Sammy, I see you on there. We'll try you one more time.
Yeah, can you hear me now, Mac?
Yeah.
Yes, Sammy.
Mac, I was just wondering, has the talent pool in the Charlotte area gotten even deeper since your first time around at UNC?
Sammy, absolutely. And I think but we had 29 million people in the state of Texas. And there's a lot more people in this state, and specifically Charlotte, than there were when I left. But now there's great players in Charlotte every year, and it's a hotbed, and everybody in the country can fly in there. So they're all very, very highly recruited, but they're well coached. The population is such that there's so many great players there. And that's why I love playing this game in Charlotte, and I love opening up next year with South Carolina and Charlotte, because we'll have a lot of the locals that are coming. But we're signing more and more Charlotte kids each year. And really and truly, Sammy, we had some when we were here before, but not near as much as we have now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no other questions, we'll let Coach Brown go. Coach, thanks for joining us this evening, and we'll see you on Friday.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate what you all do to follow college sports, and we'll see you on Friday.
Thanks, Mac.
Thanks, everyone. We'll have a recording available after this is downloads. Thank you.